Hello and welcome in. My name is Aiden Shields and I am the Sports Moron. So happy you could join me today. I'm going to be talking about the Carolina Panthers trading Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers, kind of all of the pieces involved in that, including the media response and everything like that. So I've been seeing a lot of people really criticize this trade kind of on both sides, whether or not, the 49ers get too much up for Christian McCaffrey, if the Panthers got enough, and did the trade even make sense? Does Christian McCaffrey help the 49ers? And are the Panthers better off with McCaffrey than they are without him? So honestly, I think this trade was really great for both teams involved, and I think it was really great for Christian McCaffrey too. This is one of those really interesting scenarios where there's not a clear winner or a clear loser. It seems like everybody just got exactly what they wanted and from the trade, and I'm really excited about it, to be 100% honest. I think the Panthers got a really good haul of picks. They got 4 draft picks. I think the San Francisco 49ers got a great player who's going to help them win right now, which is what the 49ers ultimately are built to do, which is win right now. And Christian McCaffrey's in a significantly better situation than he was with Carolina. We watched years of his career just utterly wasted on a terrible team. So I think really everybody wins. From the Panthers' perspective, they got a second round, a third round, and a fourth round pick in this upcoming draft, and a fifth round pick in next year's draft. They got 3 picks for this upcoming draft, which is a really big deal. They're now somewhere in between 10 and 13, I think, draft picks for this draft, which is huge for their team because they can start the rebuild now. One of the things that I criticized the Panthers on when they traded Robbie Anderson was they essentially traded him for nothing, right? They got a late round draft pick 2 drafts from now and a later round draft pick 3 years from now. You're never going to see the return on that investment. So you essentially shipped Robbie Anderson off for a bag of air because those picks aren't going to materialize into anything. Sorry, that's just what happens, right? There was just no reason to ship him off. And my big concern was that if the Panthers trade Christian McCaffrey, they're not going to get a reasonable return on investment for him, right? He's one of the premier players in the NFL. You need to get a haul of picks for him. And they did just that. A first round pick, I think they could have gotten for him. But ultimately, a second, a third, and a fourth is great. That's a lot of picks in this upcoming draft. And second and third round, like those could be day one starters. Fourth round, maybe depending on kind of the position group you target there. But those second and third round picks could absolutely be day one starters, especially on a team like the Carolina Panthers where they just fucking suck everywhere. So I think that's a great deal for the Panthers. He's 27, Christian McCaffrey is, and so they're just kind of ready to move on. And while I personally wouldn't be ready to move on from a guy like Christian McCaffrey, I would try to build around him and make sure he's not the only player we're trying to get the ball to. Panthers clearly have a different strategy, and I'm just a doofus with a camera. They actually get paid money to do their jobs, so I'm probably gonna lean towards their expertise on this one. And then from the San Francisco 49ers perspective, they get another weapon who's extremely versatile. And with their current offense, they're moving into this term that I'm hearing a lot tossed around, and it's this positionless offense. And that's really what they're kind of turning into because Christian McCaffrey can line up in the slot and in the backfield. Deebo Samuel lines up in the backfield, out wide, and in the slot. Kyle Juszczyk can play running back, fullback, and tight end. I mean, defenses are going to have absolutely no fucking clue what the 49ers are going to be doing on offense based on their fucking personnel. Nobody's going to have any idea because if Kyle Juszczyk's lined up in the backfield, so what? If Christian McCaffrey's lined up in the backfield, so what? If Deebo's lined up in the backfield, so what, right? Like, what does it mean? They can all play these different positions. So if just because Christian McCaffrey's in the slot and Deebo's in the backfield doesn't mean it's a pass. and vice versa. So defenses are going to have to play very conservative because they can just get killed. If you're going to play nickel and dime because Debo, Juszczyk, and McCaffrey can all play these receiver-esque positions, they'll just run it up the middle, right? And if you try to load the box, well, they have versatile players. So they're just going to dink and dunk and find different outlets and really quick passes and screens. And there's going to be a mismatch. No matter what sort of defense comes out, if those three players are on the field at the same time, you lost. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You don't have the right personnel no matter what, because if Christian McCaffrey lines up in the backfield, who's going to be man-to-man with him? A linebacker or a safety? Well, that's a mismatch. If you line Debo in the backfield, same shit. If McCaffrey's in the backfield and you load the box, you're still fucked. Like, there's just nothing that defenses are going to be able to do, and they're not going to know what type of play is coming based on the personnel because all of the personnel can play basically anywhere on the field. So I think the 49ers got a steal with giving up all of their draft capital because realistically, the 49ers having a bunch of draft capital doesn't help them right now, right? Their team is built to win this year. It's built to win right now. So getting rid of future picks for players who aren't on your roster right now, I don't give a fuck about, to be 100% honest with you. We just saw the Rams do something very similar, and they went and won the whole damn thing last year. So I don't really understand the criticism from the 49ers perspective. They're just following the blueprint that the Rams had, and it worked out phenomenally for the Rams, but for whatever reason, offensive-minded genius Kyle Shanahan and a great offense, yeah, no shot it works for the 49ers. Then how'd it work for the Rams, right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me why the 49ers getting slammed when it could very easily, well, I mean, it's never easy to win the whole thing in the NFL, but it could turn out to be a really great deal for the 49ers, and they could go on and make a run and win the whole damn thing. So I don't know. I think it was a great deal for the Panthers. I think it was a great deal for the 49ers, and I love the move for Christian McCaffrey. I mean, this is a guy who wasted years and years and years on the Panthers, and now he has a competent head coach because Matt Rule certainly wasn't that. He's got a decent quarterback, a good offensive line, a great defense. He's going to be lined up all over the place. He's not going to be the bell cow that he was in Carolina. So he's going to be saved from injuries, and he's not going to be overutilized, and he's still going to have a ton of production because he's in a good system now. I mean, he was the leading carrier on the 49ers in terms of number of carries after just getting there a day and a half before the game on Sunday. Like, the guy had 10 touches for 60-something yards, and he had just touched down. Like, that's insane. So imagine when Kyle Shanahan has the full rest of the season to prepare and scheme specifically for Christian McCaffrey. Like, this team is going to be freaking nuts. It's going to be nuts. And I'm so excited for it. The 49ers are going to turn into an absolute wagon, I think, with Christian McCaffrey. I'm just so happy for him. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL, and it's awesome to see that he's in a better situation.